Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Skin and Soul podcast. I'm your host, Emily Fouts, and in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about foods that can cause acne. So I did an acne episode earlier on my podcast, going through the different categories in which I consider to be triggers for acne. But in today's episode, I'm just going to be focusing and going more in depth on specifically food that can trigger acne and why. So to start this conversation off, I am going to be talking about different drinks, and then I'm going to be talking about the different foods. I do want to mention that the reason I have these foods listed on my Clear Skin Club acne intake form is because if someone is consuming these multiple times a day or multiple times a week, I can kind of deduce that their acne could potentially be triggered by this specifically. That doesn't go to say that any of these things are bad and that you shouldn't eat or drink them at all, but everything should be done within moderation. So some of these things can either trigger a hormone in our bodies that can induce acne, or it will trigger inflammation in our bodies that can induce acne. So first of all, alcohol. So alcohol can cause inflammation in the body. Also, a lot of alcoholic drinks can be very sugary. They contain those syrups and stuff. So I love a glass of wine from time to time, but it's not something that I'm doing every night, and I'm definitely not drinking those fruity, syrupy drinks. Those are the ones that are most possibly the worst that you could have in terms of, if you're trying to prevent acne. So also caffeinated beverages. And if you're anything like myself, I did not put two and two together for a long time that, I'm from the South, so I drink a lot of sweet tea. I didn't put two and two together that I was drinking caffeinated tea. So now I buy decaf tea bags. So also your coffees. If you deal with acne, just go ahead and get decaf. It tastes fine, and really you shouldn't be, in my opinion, caffeine's not super healthy for you. If you are consuming caffeine and then you go without it, you can get a caffeine headache, and it's just not good for your body. People with autoimmune disorders, like if you have fibromyalgia, caffeine can trigger that, so it must not be that great for your body. So along with that, dairy in my coffees, I will do a dairy substitute. I will use oat milk. I do consume dairy from time to time in the form of ice cream or cheese, but I really have to limit it because dairy is my number one acne trigger, along with sugar. But so dairy, I might have mentioned this before, it triggers the IGF-1 hormone in our bodies, which is scientifically proven to cause acne. And a lot of people might not know why. That's why it triggers the IGF-1 hormone. So it's meant to trigger this hormone in the calves, and then whenever we drink it, it triggers our hormone as well. So fruity drinks like smoothies, fruit is great, but a lot of fruits are high on the glycemic food index. And I'll mention a few right now, specifically watermelon, mango, and pineapple. Those are the three that are super high on the glycemic food index. So if you drink watermelon, mango, or pineapple in your smoothies quite often, maybe try and substitute with some other fruits, or just slow down on your smoothies. Maybe do a green smoothie from time to time. Excuse me. So also, while we're kind of on the topic of drinks, whey is something that can triggers inflammation in your body, and it typically has some dairy in there too when you're drinking a protein shake. So if you're using whey protein and you're having acne, that's something to consider. So yogurts, the fruit yogurts specifically, those are high on the glycemic index, and typically they have some dairy in there as well. So that is all of the drinks. We have cereal, very sugary. Sugar can cause inflammation in the body. Granola bars, granola. I love a good granola bar. A lot of them, are just very sugary. Pastries. I used to work next to a bakery / coffee shop, and I would get a huge blueberry muffin like every single day, and then I would wonder why the side of my face was breaking out so bad. So you really want to limit your pastries. White or whole wheat bread, whole grain is something to consider if you eat a lot of bread. Legumes and beans, starchy vegetables such as potatoes, corn, and pumpkin. I do really love a good pumpkin roll in the fall, and that's totally fine. All of this I have listed just because we need to make sure that we're consuming this in moderation. And besides that, we have white rice. If some of my clients are eating a lot of white rice, I will usually try and get them to consider maybe switching to brown rice from time to time. Cakes and cookies, they can also induce acne. As we know, it's a lot of sugar. Chips and crackers, popcorn, and then lastly, shellfish. Shellfish is high in iodine. Iodine can cause inflammation in the body and induce acne. So those are all of the things that I have listed on my intake form to kind of see where my clients are at. I might have some estheticians that differ with me. This is all, what I have learned, and I would be welcome to seeing if you guys have anything to add to this list, or if you want to know more about my opinion of why these can trigger acne. Although I think I've made it pretty clear that it's either just because these can cause inflammation in the body or it triggers the hormone. So let me know what you guys think. I'm always welcome to conversation on my Instagram page on the Skin and Soul podcast. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. I hope this was educational and maybe it inspired you to learn more and expand your knowledge when it comes to acne treatment. So I will see you guys next Monday, 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time for another episode.